Chapter 11. Punished. Mama was so angry with Abby, she put her on punishment for 1 week. No flyer brigade, no television, no telephone, and after school, no company. That includes Patsy. Patsy's mama gave her the same punishment. Although Abby pleaded, Mama didn't budge. "You should have come to me before going to town by yourself," Mama said. "I hate to imagine all the terrible things that might have happened to you." "If I asked, you would have said no. Besides, it did happen," Abby said. "Not like it did to John." John had been let out of jail that same evening. He was bruised and his ribs were sore. But by the next morning he climbed over the fence and came into the kitchen where Mama and Abby were eating pancakes. John joined them. He was plenty upset with Abby and Patsy. "You're lucky you didn't end up in jail too," he said. "You should give this hard-headed girl a 3-week punishment, Aunt Bee." But he winked when he said it. "I should," said Mama. Mama flicked pancakes, while John told them that he and Terry and the others were charged with disturbing the peace, trespassing, inciting a riot, loitering, and a whole lot of other that made them sound like criminals. "What will happen to you?" Abby asked. "Don't worry. We have people who will help us," he said. "Lawyers, good lawyers, like Z. Alexander Luby." John leaned back in his chair. He sighed deeply. "That's not my worst problem. Ma dear and Daddy are," he said. "But I am not giving up, not even for them." "I never want to go near downtown again as long as I live," Patsy said, as she and Abby walked home the first day that they were off punishment. They were carrying their same old black notebooks. "That was some scary stuff we saw." They stopped for a cup of hot chocolate at Mr. Ford's. Terry and John were sitting at the counter. "Look who's here! Pete and Repeat," said John. Abby teased them. "I think your names should be Pete and Repeat." Then it was Patsy's turn. "John," she began in a fake dramatic voice, "I thought we were engaged. But that's okay, Terry. I'll step out of the picture for John's happiness." John and Terry laughed. They did make a cute couple. When Mr. Ford saw Patsy and Abby, he rushed over to a box. "They just arrived," he said. A full grin spread across his face. "I looked in every catalog I had, and I finally found your big blue notebooks," he said. Abby and Patsy looked at each other. So much had happened. The big blue didn't seem so important now, but they wouldn't dream of hurting Mr. Ford's feelings, especially after he had tried so hard to find the notebooks for them. "Thanks, Mr. Ford. I'll take one," said Abby. "I'll take one too," said Patsy. Mr. Ford smiled. He looked very pleased.